Peace and love, family. Want to rise upon the seven. Give all praises to the great God, our Father God, Allah. And honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Elhaj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. Give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. Give honors to our Grand National Seal, Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution, and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. Welcome, family. Welcome, family. We got a grand drawing to bring on the manifest, and today it ain't gonna be long because I got to check into another class, and I'm trying to cut my measures down a little bit, and take them out of the realms of being too extensive. Yes, sir. Peace and love, family. Yes, sir. Blackman, you already know what time it is, man. Make this demonstration go viral. Share it with the masses. Yes, sir. Yeah, we got a grand drawing to bring on the manifest. Powerful measure, bro. Give me 1 second right here. I'm gonna just drop this link on the manifest. Hold up. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this link right here. One time. I ain't gonna even try to drop it. Whoever get it, they get it. Like I said, I ain't gonna be long with this demonstration. It's gonna be a brief one, but fulfilling at the same time. Y'all already know how we do it. We're gonna go into the true origins, of Christianity according to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. As he always told the Moors, he said, get a church and Christianity back to the European. Now, a lot of people may be offended by that statement, but that is dealing with those who don't know, where this history come from. They don't know what it entails. They don't even know that when you go into the Piscean records, which we call the Bible, basic instruction before leaving earth, that's the acronym to break down, the word Bible, by the way, for those who don't know. But when you go into this special history, what we find out is that they were known as Nazarites. It actually referred to them in the Bible as Nazarites, and they were referred to as Christians, out of mockery of those who were calling them, basically followers of Christ. That's where the term Christian came from. It was coined by the Romans and so forth and so on. And we already know about the history of Constantine 325 AD and all this stuff here. But we ain't going necessarily into that area. But we're going to touch on certain drawings that really deal with just some obvious things that we can point out along the way. So as you see what I have scrolling across the screen, the truth is undefeated because it knocks the brains out of falsehood. You know what I mean? So we know the truth is undefeated. I don't care what type of lie you put out there. I don't care how much one try to mix truth with falsehood and make it sound good and appealing to the ear. You just can't dress up certain things that are damaged. But anyway, I'm gonna do some sharing up here. I want to go into a grand drawing. We're gonna be coming from the Book of Ali. Let me share my screen real quick. Let's go ahead and get at this here demonstration. Okay. I want to make sure that our family get that drawing. Okay, there we go, right there. We shared. Now let me pull my file up. So this is dealing with, again, this is coming from the Book of Ali. If you want a copy of this, email me at egyptianadept@gmail.com and I'll send this to you so you can go over it and vet it yourself. But this is actually the second chapter in the book, you know, and it's called The Beginning of Christianity. And this is Prophet Noble Drew Ali's words. This is what he stated. And our chairman actually put commentary in here in relation to dealing with his words. So one is dealing with the beginning of Christianity, right? And then it goes to state, the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations founded the first church, of whom crucified Yehoshua of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law, right? And we're going to go into that concept of crucifixion, because a lot of people think crucifixion is limited to being nailed to a cross, you know, but there's something deeper to this that one has no idea of. But again, it states Yehoshua himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Rome crucified him according to their law. That's the key. You see, they crucified him according to their law, right? Again, pay close attention because we're going to revisit that in a minute. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad the First came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Yehoshua of Nazareth. The holy teaching of Yehoshua was to the common people to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor, also that the lion and the lamb may lay down together, and neither would be harmed when the morning came. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the Ten Commandments. Through the Ten Commandments, the rulers and the rich live, while the poor suffer and die. That sounds real familiar, don't it? Especially when you deal with one who lived by law, yet we die by the law. Yeah, we know that's going on right now, right? But it states the lamb is the poor people, and the lion is the rulers and the rich. Through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations in all lands. So we see, you know, clear and concise, you know, where Prophet Noble Drew Ali was coming from. And notice he said the foundation of Christianity, as the European teach it, it began in Rome. You know, this is where they began to create their concept from. We know that Christianity is rooted, you know, in certain aspects of dealing with what we call the Roman Catholic Church. You see, that's a whole nother measure. We ain't even got to go through all the documents that Rome has over there in their vaults at the Vatican and everything that they're holding back that contradict their doctrine. You see, yet again, Rome considered him crucified according to their law. Now let me go here into dealing with this special word, crucified. Now, there are different definitions for this word, crucified. I like to talk about the crucifixion, you see, instead of the crucifixion. The crucifixion is the crucifixion. You see, like our brother Tupac said, the media be crucifying brothers severely, you know. But again, they say, well, one definition is to put to death by nailing or binding the wrists or the hands and the feet to a cross. To put to death. Now, I have read plenty of documentation that goes in opposition to this concept of crucifixion. You know, I've seen, if you read a book, this is a source, family, if you ever get a chance to grab it, it's called The Second Messiah. It speaks about the Shroud of Turin. For those of you who don't know what the Shroud of Turin is, well, let me give you a prime example of it, because I don't want to speak of this stuff and you don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I want you to know exactly where I'm coming from when I say this, because it ain't going to make sense to you if you don't know what it is. This is the Shroud of Turin right here, which, you know, I remember as a youngster watching this on Unsolved Mysteries and them talking about they found the Shroud of Turin and this was supposed to be Jesus. And when I read that book, Second Messiah, it speaks on the Shroud of Turin and tell you actually, you know, whose impression was on the Shroud of Turin. And they were not dead when this impression was taken. You see, there was a story in regards to dealing with the Knights Templar and their connection to dealing with basically the ancient Vatican, you know, the Pope of Rome during that time. You know, I want to say Pope Philip V, if I'm not mistaken, but it was a Pope during that time that sent out some crusaders on a witch hunt, you know, to get at the Templars that they had deemed traitors. They had so-called betrayed, you know, the church. And it was said that they was keeping a secret, and that the secret was that they were worshiping Baphomet. You know, and in this book, Second Messiah went into how the name Baphomet was supposed to be synonymous with the name Muhammad. You know, and they were saying that low-key the Knights Templars had converted to Islam. And basically, they therefore became the enemies because they were supposed to be killing Muslims. So, you know, they over here taking, and this is because it said a pledge was taken under the tree. You know, the bayah. They took bayah under the tree. You know, the ilm. They called it the splitting of the ilm, the ILM, which is knowledge. And this is why it is said that most Templars can become Shriners without having to go all the way through the degree process. But nevertheless, it is said that all of this led back to their last Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, whom also has a secret society organization named after him. And Jacques de Molay was said to have basically refused to tell the Pope, you know, about their allegiance that they were supposedly accused of. So they took him up there and they tortured him, and, you know, they basically crucified him, put him up there and everything, put him on the stake, put him out in the sun, and, you know, it did a lot of things to this guy, but he was crucified and he actually lived after being nailed up there. Crucifixion doesn't necessarily kill one. You see, a lot of people don't know that. So as he was healing, laid there, it was said that this shroud was placed over him. And this is where the impression came from. This is one of the greatest secrets of Western Freemasonry that has ever been kept. And oh, it sounds good after you've seen Jesus in the likeness of this image right here that you see in front of us so many years. You would go for that if you believe that he was a European and so forth and so on. But nevertheless, this is really the impression of the 22nd, I want to say, last Grand Master, you know, of the Knights Templar, Jacques de Molay. And so nevertheless, that's why they named the book Second Messiah. After he refused to basically manifest or reveal any knowledge that they were seeking to try to draw from him through his torture and whatnot, they went on here and they say, all right, well, we're going to burn you at the stake. You know, and basically what ended up happening was before he was burned at the stake, he basically said, he was said to predict the death of that special Pope that had this done to him, that basically after he would die, this one would die too. You know, and basically a few people ended up dying after they burned this brother at the stake. And a lot of people say, well, this was some of his followers that carried certain things out, you know, poisoning and all types of stuff. They say one fell sick and they was demonstrating witchcraft and magic and whole bunch of no, basically. Nevertheless, this was this man's impression that has been passed off for years, and many Christians to this day still believe that this shroud represent that which is of Yehoshua. So this is one aspect right here that we're going to get out of the way. We just want to show you some things here. See, we're going to give you the truth over here, and we're going to most definitely, take you up through there. We're going to give it to you just like it is. And I read that book over, 20 some odd years ago, 30 years, basically. I read this that long ago. You have books that have this book in their bibliography, such as Born in Blood, the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons. A lot of their information was extracted from a lot of this stuff here. So it also said that, it gave a history on the life of our brother Yehoshua, whom is known as Jesus or Isa, that he actually didn't die of crucifixion, that he lived, and that he even had a family. I have some information relevant to that as well that I found recently. But yeah, they say he had a family and he went into Kashmir in India. He just went throughout the land. But Kashmir in India is said where he was said to settle. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say that I have a measure. This was recently. I just put this out here recently. Something I found here. And this is the name Yesu that was found on a stele in Shinwi in Hedret, 1900 BC. And this is a name, that deal with the root of Yehoshua being derived from Egyptian and Proto-Canaanite language. So this name was also linked to what is called Yeshua's, which is the family tomb. And also he had a son, according to this particular measure, called Yeshua bar Yehuda, which is really supposed to be Yehuda bar Yeshua, which is Judah bar Jesus. Now you hear him talking about the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Make me think about that when I read that in the Piscean records in the Bible. That Lion from the tribe of Judah can actually be linked to this son right here. But that's a whole nother measure. See, the European have a different way of telling this story. But when you're dealing with us Moors, we're going to go into the ancient history and we're going to pull things out there that you ain't never really heard before. And it's the reason why they kept these things secret, And so, again, here you see right here, Isu, which is going into the same aspect of like Isa and Yesa. See the comparison here. That's Paleo Hebrew right there, not Masoretic text. So you can look this up too. There's an ossuary, which deal with a chest box, a building, a well, or a site that's made to serve as a final resting place of human skeletal remains. Now they have one of these, that what its name Yesu or Yeshu has been found in the 1st century CE. The ossuary of Yeshua bar Yosef, which is Jesus, son of Joseph, basically. And this is just look it up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They actually have the tomb that is said to house not only him, Joseph, and his mama, but also his wife and son, so to speak. That's what this whole thing really deal with. You see, but the crazy thing is the connection going back to the Egyptian aspect of the name. So it says that this name has also been found, this Yeshu has been found in a fragment in Jerusalem Talmud from Cairo. It says in a depository for holy texts, which are not usable due to age, damage, or errors. You see, Flusser takes this as evidence that the term being a name. However, the standard text of the Jerusalem Talmud refers to one of the numerous rabbi Yehoshuas of the Talmud, and moreover, the fragment has the latter name, it say, at other points in the text. Yeshua is also mentioned in Isaac Loria's book of Reincarnations, chapter 37, within the long list of Jewish tzaddiks. It is written, on your way from Safed toward the north to the village of In al-Zaitun, passing a karub tree, Yashu Ha Nasri. This is actually rooted in that same name that go back to Nazarite. You see, a Nazara. That word Nasri, that's another measure. But again, the tomb of Talpiot, excavated in 1980 during the Savage archaeology, originally contained 10 ossuaries, bone boxes for the secondary burial of 10. One vanished, presumably stolen right after it had been cataloged. This may have been the tomb of Jesus' brother James ossuary. Although such claim is refuted by the professor who oversaw the archaeological work of the other 9, 6 were inscribed with names as translated as the lost tomb of Jesus and the family of the Jesus family tomb. And they read as following. These are all of those that were actually cataloged. Ossuary 8530, Yehoshua Bar Yosef. That's supposed to be Jesus himself. Jesus, the son of Joseph. Miriam. Also, which is Miriam, that's his mother. And that's 8505. You have also 8504, Yosef Joseph, his father. You see, and one of his brothers as well that was mentioned in here. And then his son, 8501. So this is what is recorded. Now you go do your research on that right there. Now you already know anytime you find something like that on the manifest, the first thing that's going to be tried to be proved by the European is that it's supposed to be fake or something. It ain't real. Of course they would say that because it will go against everything that they taught. You see? So you can never expect the Roman to accept anything that is going to debunk what it is that he has been teaching out here to these people, for so long. Peace and love, family. What's going on with your family? All is well. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to definitely put the we're going to also put the link out here in a few minutes, so that our family can get a grand drawing off this demonstration, because we want to hear from some of our family. So yeah, this is a powerful demonstration. You see, when you go into really pulling this stuff apart, that they done tried to basically bamboozle the people with. So yeah, you had again a forgery, of a supposing Torah shroud, which is really the 22nd Grand Master Western Freemasonry. Do that research yourself as well. Jacques de Molay. Second Messiah is the book. So again, so you see all these inconsistencies that are out here. And that's what happens when somebody try to lie. Eventually the truth comes to the surface. The truth is the only thing that changes. Not. You see? Now, to those who believe in a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, buttermilk complected, European, they gonna say this is evidence of their Christ and their Messiah. And if that's where they are along the way, all is well. We ain't gonna argue with you and go back and forth with you on it. But we know better. And when you know better, you do better. You see? So coming forth and getting back to the book of Ali and what Prophet Noble Drew Ali had to say, we're gonna go down here to the commentary that our chairman had. Also, get the Gospel of Barnabas, family, because the Gospel of Barnabas is a book that was cast out as a pseudo book. Every book that was written in Coptic, family, Coptic is the last stage of Egyptian. They tried to usurp the Coptic language with calling it Greek, but I've proven that Greek don't even exist. It's always been Coptic. All you got to do is look at my videos on my page that deal with that language. I had a whole breakdown on it. There is no such thing as Coptic language. We're going to stop telling that lie. There is no such thing as a Greek culture. We're going to stop telling that lie. You see what I'm saying? All that was created so that the European could superimpose themselves into a history that they can attach to something as being ancient. That's where that comes from. So yeah, this book, the Gospel of Barnabas, and a few more, like the book of Enoch, the book of Yashahar, the book of Jasher. These books were all Coptic texts, you know, and these books were mostly held back and called pseudo. These Coptic books come from our people, basically, you know, meaning the people of the darker hue. That's where a lot of these books derive from. That's why they were held back. But yet the Vatican have these books. And if someone that is a part of the Catholic faith decide that they want to, let's just say, if they want to read these things and begin to study them without the permission of their superior, they can actually be excommunicated. You know, Catholicism is much similar to the Masonic degrees, you know, because if you at a certain level in Masonry, you ain't got no business looking at degrees beyond your where you are. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know, even though there is an opposition due to the history that I mentioned to you a few minutes ago regarding Western Freemasonry, you know, I'm talking about the Knights Templars portion mainly, because they basically at war with the Jesuits, you know, and it is through the Jesuit order, out of the Jesuit order came the Illuminati, you see, which we know the real Illuminati in the ancient time was the illuminated ones, our ancestors in ancient Kemet. But what they are calling that now ain't got nothing to do with ancient Kemet, you see, even though they try to speak on the Egyptian rite of Memphis and all of that right there, because that is said to evolve from the Illuminati, you know, as well. But that's a whole nother measure. What I'm saying is that there's always been an underlying war that's going on between the Jesuits and the Templars, a war that's being waged right before our eyes, and many people don't know it. So it was said that in some of the rites that were demonstrated is that the Templars would be denouncing the Christ, spitting on the cross, and doing all types of things to the cross. And these are the things that the Pope brought up as charges against them, you know, and basically, like I said, went on a witch hunt against these Templars, you see. And they have a lot of these things in like if you look at the movie The Last Templar and, you know, other movies, you'll see little flashes of this type of history, even though they don't tell it all, you know, because they ain't gonna never tell everything. You know, most of that stuff go over people's head and they don't even know what they're looking at. When you look at movies such as The Kingdom of Heaven, you know, dealing with that special time when Salahuddin, you know, was conquering that particular, and that's who they basically were saying that the ones had come into a union with. They even show a relationship between, you know, ones there, but they also showed those who wanted to come and break, you know, the ranks of unity that one was trying to establish, you know, and they would do some real crazy things and spark war where one was trying to demonstrate peace, you know, and then put the ones in danger, you know, that they had sent out there in the battlefield and pretty much abandoned them, you know. So it was a lot of cutthroat and conniving going on during that time. Y'all already know it. I ain't even got to get a history. So here in the commentaries, our chairman run it down, and he stated, and this is dealing with the beginning, you know, right up here when you go back here where we was just showing you what we was reading at the beginning. This is point 1. In other words, it deals with the start, when activated, commence, originated, open, embark, initiated. You see, this is what beginning means. We don't really have to get that to our family because they already know it, but you know, we're running it down for the sake of it being a part of this. Also, the second portion here, you know, he went into Christianity as well, you know, which you can see as point 2. In Christianity, he state the European religion found in Rome. The name Christianity derives from the Greek word Christios, right? And this is really Coptic, family. You see, but we call it Greek because we so used to calling it. They did try to branch a little portion off and carve it out and call it their own. Took a few alphabets out of it or whatever the case may be, but it's still the Coptic at the end of the day. So again, Christ's anointed one. Christos was later used by European nations to anoint people and events. Saint Christopher, today's Saint Nick, aka Santa Claus, the Catholic Mass of Christ, Christmas trees, Christians and Christian names, etc. You see? So he went into that definition. Then this is one of the grandest definitions that our people never heard. This is dealing with the church. This is point 3, right? As you can see here, see it has it up here. The first church. There it is. Now, you see me give you the aspect of dealing with crucifixion, the first definition. But crucifixion also means to destroy the power of. It also means to treat cruelly. It means to torment. You see? So most prophets, the European, are those with that mindset. We can say a precursor to the European. Let's just say the demonic mindset, so to speak, that was on the manifest, the Amahu, as they would call him in Kemet, the troglodyte nigger, that ape-like mentality that was there. It always has sought to be in opposition to anything righteous. You see, to try to vilify, any divine warner. Every divine warner has always had some opposition from the time they come on the manifest. Most of them were treated cruelly. Most of them were dealt with unjustly. So this is a form of crucifixion, even though they didn't physically die. So, the Gospel of Barnabas tell a whole different story about the crucifixion concept, and actually tell you that it was Judas who was crucified, and his likeness was placed over Yehoshua. Yehoshua likeness was placed over his. In other words, he transmuted. He was able to change his form according to the book of Gospel of Barnabas. And basically, it was Judas that really was crucified. That's why the Quran said it was made to look as if it was such. But he was not crucified nor killed. So if it says that, the Quran actually support what the Gospel of Barnabas states. The Gospel of Barnabas is not some made up type. This book is actually older than, the present fragments of the Bible that the European have, that they draw from. This is like from the oldest copy. One of them is like from the 1500s. Not the 1500, but 1500 BC. That's very close to, Yehoshua. And it was written in Aramaic. That's how you know that it's some antiquity on it. You see? So this is special Gospel of Barnabas. Has a lot of keys in it, family. Even talk about the coming of Prophet Muhammad. And they got it over there at the Catholic Church. It is even said that inscribed on the back of the Pope's chair is the Shahada. La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. You see? Now, ain't that something? Just think about that. But if you ask the Pope what was back there, he'll tell you he don't know what it is. Ain't that something else? Hold up 1 minute, family. Just give me a second to check in real quick. And I'm finna check into my conference call. I'm gonna open up because I open up the floor. And then I'm gonna get right back to our family, because we got to really give our family this joy. So I'm gonna open up real quick with these laws, and then we're gonna move to the next degree of unfoldment, because our family got to get this truth at all costs, family. We got to give it to you.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. You are helping people. The recording has started. Please announce yourself. Isn't that the who's second in?
Islam.
Just more to them, God, man. How you like yourself? Was that our grandnephew, sister grand?
Yes, sir. It is I, brother. Islamism. How you be, grand man?
I'm just more to them, God, man. How about yourself?
I'm just as Moorish as well. All praise be to the great God Allah. Islamism without the schism.
Islamism. That's good. Okay, let me
Muted.
Okay, we want to welcome everyone to our Most American Government National State of the Nation class for this evening. And we're going to call our National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Shadu Amiti Al-Muhammad Septuel, to open this up according to law. Islam?
Islam.
Islam, you got the floor.
Can you hear me, grand man? Can you hear me, grand man?
Dr. Shahid, you there?
Muted.
Okay, Islam. I'm unmuted now, grand man. I was asking that, could you hear me, but can you hear me clearly now?
I hear you now.
Okay.
I hear you clearly right now.
Praise be to Allah. Islam. Gratitude. Islam, Moorish America. Well, let us rise first upon the seven and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet. Honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us come forth with our ancient Kemetic and adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and minds as we open up the way. Islam, Islamism. Ya Allah ibnu heru makuneteru. Ya Allah ibhat heru. Ya Allah ma'at heru. Ya Allah hutep heru. Ya Allah heru. Ya Allah ma'at herakuti. Ya Allah ahwajeta juti. Ya Allah per im sutek per im haru. Ya Allah bamaduti. Al-Hajjat Shapsis Rab to Ali. Amen. Halias. And that is to say, Moors, in transliteration, O Allah, the Father of the universe, O Allah, the Father of love, O Allah, the Spirit of truth, O Allah, the Spirit of peace, O Allah, the Spirit of freedom, O Allah, the Spirit of justice, O Allah, you are my protector, O Allah, you are my guide, O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day, O Allah, through your holy prophet, O Allah, Drew Ali, Amen. Holy Issa, Islam, Moorish kin. And now we come forth before you with the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America, salvation, our God, unity, the 7 supreme constitutional acts of law. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws And all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you're part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish Americans that cause in confusion or overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been opened according to the triune acts, Acts 1, 2, and 3 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we say Islam, Islam, Islamism. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. He ruleth and directed with infinite wisdom. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world, and he hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature conforming to his will. Shemotepu Moorish King.
Muted.
Islam, Islam, Islam. I'm Divine Minister Dr. Marvin Evans Page, Consul General of the Texas Consulate of...
Yeah, most definitely, family. Gratitude to our family for the patience. And we definitely gonna give y'all our conference call number 2, so y'all can tune in when you have a chance. In a little time, like I say, I want to make this a measure to where it ain't so lengthy, but it's more briefer than anything. And we definitely want to start or pick up where we left off at. And what I'm gonna do right now, since we have it here, I'm gonna drop this link right here in the box for our family that may want to come up here. And if you want to come up, just click the link and I'll chime you in and we can build a little further on this. While I'm doing that, going into the essence of these measures here that we was dealing with a few minutes ago, and that was actually point 3. Our family come in, we'll definitely let you in this demonstration. Peace to all of you. So here, again, in commentary, our chairman told us, it says the first church was not a religious facility or belief system for the wretched, right? But a political gathering of Roman statesmen called the Senate. So every time you see them gathering to make laws and enforce laws under the United States, umbrella, basically, that's they demonstrating church when they meet in the Senate, right? So it say, when this great meeting of powerful Roman politicians and governors convened, this gathering was called the church. Similar to today's House of Congress is the gathering of senators, congressmen, and representatives authorized to make and enforce laws from the various states. The church was a Roman order formed under the reign of Tiberius, Pontius Pilate, and Maximus, right? It's and would later be known worldwide as the Roman Catholic Order. The church today is called Christianity because the original Roman Catholics refused to allow them to worship at the Vatican. So Christianity is basically splinter denominations from the old Catholic Church. The first defectors from Catholicism were the Martin Lutherans. We already know that's where Martin Luther King name come from, right? It says from them came the Protestants, who later spawned those who did not like their Methodists, whose splinters became Puritans, who mourned into existence the Mormons, who thought it better to be a Baptist, who did not rejoice enough for Jehovah's Witness, who disapproved the scientific church of what's happening now. Amen. The chairman got a real sense of humor. But again, it states the last prophet in these days teaches man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man's highest ideal is his God. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. The book, recognized worldwide today as the Holy Bible, is an absolute testimony to this gospel. Billions of biblical scholars, too humanly afraid to research the origin of their testaments, will often assume the Bible as the word of God. In actuality, the Bible is more the words of the Greeks than the theme idea. And we already know, who our chairman referring to. He talking about that Amahu. He talking about those Europeans, that came up out of the Caucasus Mountain and infiltrated in Kemet, known as the Hekakasut. But that's a whole nother history as well. But it says the sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, right? And Tiras. Madai, it says, is a middle land. The third son of Japheth, Genesis 10:2, the name by which the Medes are known, it says on the Assyrian monuments, Javan, it says, was the fourth son of Japheth in Genesis 10:2, whose descendants settled in Greece, Ionia, it says, who bears the name, it says, of Javan in Hebrew. Alexander the Greek is called the king of Javan, rendered Grecia in the King James Bible, right? Daniel chapter 8, verse 21, 10, 20, 11, 2, Zechariah 9:13. And this word Javan was universally used by the nations of the East as a European generic name of the Greek race. So it's letting you know the name they were referred to before they tagged on this demonstration that we call Greek. It says here it must be remembered the Greek in the Roman Septuagint, it says of 2,000 years ago, is what is called the Holy Bible. This is what what Prophet Drew Ali meant when he noted the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Bible was originally drafted from small elements of the sacred writings of the Pert M. Heru, ancient Chaldeian book of coming forth by day. Small elements because the Septuagint, it says, is a Greek interpretation of what they overhauled during an annual council of the 70 rabbis in their affirmation of the Torah, 5 books of Moses. These European interpretations later went on to become what is now accepted as the New Testament. There are more versions of the Bible than any other book in the world, yet rarely do studies show the Old and New Testaments are a compilation of books written by and describing the duties and performed by dozens of prophets during their special eras. The Bible traces Eber to Shem, the son of Noah. From him were also the Assyrians and Aramaeans. All these people spoke languages closely related, which we are in the habit of calling Semitic. The speech of the Canaanites was nearest to that we know as Hebrew. That's why they talk about Proto-Sinaitic, Proto-Canaanite, and so forth on. It states, yet the Bible groups these people together with the Egyptians among their descendants of Shem's brother Ham, right? According to the Hebrew tradition, Melchizedek, king and founder of Ur of Salem, Jerusalem, founded upon peace, that's what that means, was Noah's son, Shem. Cush begat Nimrod, and his kingdom was Babel. Out of that land went forth Ashur. Southern Arabia was settled in the part by Cush and his sons and descendants of Ham. From a biblical perspective, all the descendants of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth populate the world as the three main divisions of mankind: Mongoloid, Oriental, Negroid, Black, Caucasian, White, respectively, and of their amalgamating, right? This is a powerful demonstration. But nevertheless, we talking about the proof, of what Christianity really is and where it come from in its true history, the beginning. It's rooted in Roman Catholicism, and I don't have to keep reiterating that demonstration and keep saying the same thing over and over again, because we don't need to browbeat the horse, so to speak, but we just want to make it plain. So the first church, was in the Roman times, the gathering of the Senate, the gathering of the congressmen. So every time the European get together now in modern day Rome, right up there in the United States, anytime they make law and enforce law, they congregating in church. The only difference is their religion is more real than the one that they have the people focus on outside of politics, because they actually getting something done under their religion, meaning that they actually enforcing law with their religion. They got systems of oppression and everything else they done implemented to make work for them. That's why the prophet said that the church and Christianity for the Europeans, earthly salvation. And our way of life for us was for our divine and earthly salvation. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things have taken place, on the modern day Rome. So it was Prophet Noble Drew Ali who came forth and broke the Roman seal. He broke the Roman seal, and then he manifested the seventh seal. You see? So he broke the Roman seal and he manifested the seventh seal, fam. How did he break that Roman seal? By coming forth and proclaiming us as a nation of people, by waking up the first fruits of the Moorish American Muslims so that they can become conscious of who they are, by teaching them to be themselves, their nationality, and divine creed. See, we were said to be 3/5 of a human being, just mind, body, and soul, so to speak. So that's all we were. But they took two things away from us because we were supposed to be 5/5. That's what makes us complete. They took nationality and divine creed from us. See, honor thy mother and thy father, that their days may be long upon the land, really refer to your nationality and divine creed. If you don't honor your nationality and divine creed, then you will be erased from the earth. Because the nationality represents the descent nature, the line that is preserved through the father. The divine creed is often taught through the mother. You see? So honor thy father, national descent nature, and thy mother, divine creed, and thy days may be long upon the earthland. You ain't gonna be able to do this honoring the Europeans' nationality, European divine creed. You see? See, they told you was American. Well, our brother Malcolm X even said, well, Noble Drew Ali said it like this. He said, by being born here don't make you a citizen. Malcolm X said, us being American ain't no different than putting kittens in an oven. You don't call kittens that's placed in an oven, biscuits. They still kittens, you see? And it's the same thing when it comes to us dealing with who we are. We got to get into that too, family. The importance of our one free national name. Just look at it. I mean, you ain't going to let nobody give you no hand-me-down products with bad names to them. When it comes down to what most of our people are, well, let's get on the material aspect. You know, some of our people love to rock designer. That's their mindset. They want to wear Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. You know, all these things mean something to them name-wise. Come to tennis shoe, they want to wear Jordan, Nike, you know, whatever what's popping at that time. Reebok, Adidas. You know, all these names have a history attached to them. So if we feel ashamed as a people, our people feel ashamed wearing anything less than something that's name brand, then why is it that we accept a name that has been given to us that has stripped us of being a nation and stripped us of our nationality? Shouldn't we go harder for something that really has to do with our lineage and our life over something else that's material? Come on now, family. Let's make it make sense now. If we know the name Negro really refer to the Negro Acts, go look the Negro Acts up. They exist in law. And even in Negro Acts, it tell you that the only people that'll be honored when it comes to our people is the Moors and the Egyptians and the Asiatics. In the 1740 Negro Acts. But when you go into the black codes, which really come from the Code Noir, black codes 1865 that were implemented during the time that our people were so-called free, when the Emancipation of Proclamation was supposed to be signed, right? Then they came forth with, you know, the black codes, and the black codes was created to keep our people in their place. So the original law known as the Code Noir, let me show you what I'm talking about. Because see, people think we be making this stuff up, right? Yeah. You know, people think we be making this stuff up. You know, and this is it here. Black codes restricted black people's right to own property, conduct business, buy, lease land, and move freely through public spaces. These black codes, right, a central element of the black codes were vagrancy laws. They considered us vagabonds. States criminalized men and say who were out of work, who were not working jobs. They say are working at a job whites recognized. So if one didn't even have a job, they could have had a job, but if it wasn't something that the European honored or they recognized as legitimate work, you was considered a vagrant. You was considered one on the vagabond. These were ways to restrict our people, family. That's why we don't take the name black. When Prophet Noble Drew Ali say black according to science mean death, that's what he talking about. You see, he talking about black according to the science of law. Black according to the science of spirituality. You see, black according to the science of alchemy. See, a lot of people don't know these things. Go study black according to the science of alchemy and spirituality, and you're going to see what come up. So, you know, these are titles that were given to us and labels. They are descriptions, but they don't represent nationalities. So you don't see a black flag outside of a Roach can. You see, you don't see this. And I don't care who defined an ancient word, you know, and then say this word means black. Well, that ain't what the ancestors called it, though. You see? And just because the soil is referred to as black ain't got nothing to do with the people that stand on the soil. The soil and the people are two different things. So people that's over there in Nigeria, they're Nigerians. People in the Congo are Congolese. You know, I mean, we can go all the way down through there. They have a name that they're referred to. They ain't called black. You see? One time you asked me who was the original man, I tell you, the original man is Asiatic black man, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of civilization, God of the universe. Yeah, I used to demonstrate that when I didn't know no better. You see what I'm saying? Now, somebody that don't know better, they would think that one is going against the so-called black race, quote unquote. You feel me? I went hard for the so-called quote unquote black race. You know, when I was ignorant, demonstrating so-called black power and all this type of stuff here. And even the person who coined that phrase, the brother that originated that, tell you that, you know, they didn't intend for that to represent race. They knew it didn't represent race. It was a term of what he felt was empowerment. the brother who invented the term. You see? But anyway, nevertheless, these black codes were created to restrict us. That's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us our one free national name back. Because he said, anytime you use a name outside of your true descent name, you are treated as an undesirable. And the people basically mistreat you, they misuse you, they abuse you, and they demonstrate anything, you know, that basically harm you. Okay, nobody do nothing about it because you somebody else's property. It was the European who began to call us by these different names. So then you have the term color, which is the color of the law. And the color of the law ain't really nothing but basically based on an officer's statement. If an officer, somebody in uniform say you're wrong, then you're wrong. That's really what the color of law is based on. Color of law also had to do with the fact of your physical appearance, you know, and the melanin that you have as opposed to the European. So based upon the color of the law, it's exercised different with them than it is from you. And all this happened in church sessions. I'm talking about the real church session, the one they have up there in that White House, like they used to do back in the Roman time. It makes sense now, huh? So when we talk about that NBC, that Negro black and color mindset that our people are stuck in, and they don't understand that you got to have a name that link you to the land. The importance about the name more is that the name more attaches you to this land. It ain't got nothing to do with being a fanatic in religion or none of that, family. The name more attach you to this land as a native. And you don't have to be a Native American Indian in order to embrace that. And the land belonged to you under the title more. And until our people embrace that as a whole unit and get outside of this foolery that they done had put out here, all this propaganda, people lying to you, telling you that the Moors was enslaving our people. We're going to show you something else on that too. I want to get back to this black code, but I'm going to get into that in a minute too. I'm showing you the original black codes. Them was the ones that come from 1865. I was just reading. These the original ones that them come from. See, black code. This was a decree that was passed by the French King Louis the 14th in 1685 instead of 1865, defining the conditions of slavery in the French colonial empire. So, and they got them up here, bro. If you want to know what the black code's all about, bro, they all have to do with basically, you know, they actually tell you what they was doing. You know, right here, for example. Let's get into it. This right here go right in line with what we talking about the church and Christianity in Rome. The Code Noir initially took shape in Louis XIV's edict of 1685, although subsequent decrees modified a few of the code's provisions. This first document established the main lines for policing of slavery right up to 1789. So it was the same use for this that was being used in 1865. So they adopted this right after slavery that was already implemented under the crown of England. Look, it says, the very first article expels all Jews from the colony. These so-called Jews are known as your Moorish Philosia, your Moorish Sephardim, your Moorish Israelites. That's who they talking about right here. It said they played a significant but hardly dominant role in the Dutch colonies of the Caribbean region, but were not allowed to own property or slaves in the French colonies. The edict also insisted that all slaves be instructed as Catholics and not as Protestants. This is the direction and instruction they gave to the slave owners over here in America. These codes right here. So this is what that Christianity was being forced on our people. It says, for the most part, the code concentrated on defining the condition of slavery, passing the condition through the mother and not the father. You see? So they gave somewhat like an illusion of power to the woman, which you see now. You know what I mean? The father ain't nothing, and the woman basically, they put her up as a rival. This ain't nothing but Willie Lynchism, bro. It says, in establishing harsh controls over the conduct of those enslaved. Slaves have virtually no rights, though the cold did enjoin masters to take care of the sick and old. So when you get out here and you proud to call yourself by the name blank just because it sound good and somebody told you that and you ain't did research on it, family, you want to be stubborn. You know what I mean? We're not saying this to beat our people down. We're saying this to uplift you, to correct what we have been taught. We give honor to our brothers and sisters who died, you know, under that name, demonstrating what they felt like was right. But they didn't know what we know now. So when you know better, you do better. So again, look at some of this stuff here. I ain't going to read all of it because, like I said, I ain't trying to be real long. It says the edict of the king on the subject of the policy regarding the islands of French America. Listen to what they say. March 1685, recorded at the Sovereign Council of Saint Domingo. It say May 6 of May or May 6, 1687. Louis, by the grace of God, King of France, Navarre, it say to all those here present, and to those, it says to come, greetings, and that we must also care for all people. It says that divine providence has put under our tutelage. We have agreed to have the reports of the officers we have sent to our American islands. So they're letting you know that they had sent agents over here to America. You know, they call them our American islands. They saying they were laying claim it. They own the Americas, basically. It says studied in our presence. So they looked at it as an experiment. You hear people say America was a great experiment. They say these reports inform us of their need, it say, for our authority and our justice in order to maintain the discipline of the Roman Catholic and Apostolic faith in the island. So they're saying that they need some help from them in order to govern what was going on over here. Our authority is also required to settle issues dealing with the condition and quality of the slaves in said islands. We desire to settle these issues and inform them that even though they reside infinitely far from our normal abode, we are always present basically for them. That means they rocking with them, you know. Despite it's supposed to be look like that America broke away from them, they still rocking with them. They say not only through the reach of our power, and that's that Masonic demonstration. They say, but also by the promptness of our help towards their needs. They say for these reasons, and on the advice of our council, of our certain knowledge, absolute power, and royal authority, we have declared, rule, and ordered, and declare rule and order that the following pleases us. Article 1, we desire and we expect that edict of 23rd of April 1615 of the late King, our most honored Lord and Father, who remains glorious in our memory, be executed in our islands. This accomplished, we enjoin all of our officers to chase from our islands all the Jews who have established residence there. So they wanted to really run all the Moorish Israelites, the Moorish Philosopher, Moorish, Sephardim away, basically. It say they want them exiled. As with all declared enemies of Christianity, we command them to be gone within 3 months of the day of issuance of the present order, at risk of confiscation of their persons and their goods. If they don't get out of there, now remember they had already exiled our people in 1492 from Spain. So now they done settled over here 200 some odd years later. They gonna make a threat that if they don't get up out of there, we want their persons and we want their goods. Everything they done gained in that 200-year time. Man, that's cold-blooded right there, family. You beefing with somebody for 200, 300 years, they like, we got to keep our foot on their neck, because if we don't, it's going to be some real conflict. These cats, we can't let them become many. We see they growing, so we got to get over there and do something about that. If we don't, they might be a problem. That's how they were thinking, basically. Just like they say Pharaoh demonstrated in the Bible. But it says, Article 2, all slaves that shall be in our islands shall be baptized and instructed in Roman Catholic and Apostolic faith. So if that tell you we had to be baptized, then what was our way of life before we were baptized? Were we Christians? Let's be honest, family. Were we Christians? Well, we part of the church before they baptized us. Let that marinate a bit. Now, we seen the movie Roots. We seen what Kunta Kinte was demonstrating before they came over here. We definitely wasn't demonstrating no Roman Catholicism, though. But they talking about forcing it on us right now, right here, basically. They say, we enjoin the inhabitants who shall purchase newly arrived Negroes to inform the governor and intendant of the said islands of this fact within no more than 8 days, or risk being fined an arbitrary amount. They shall give the necessary orders to have them instructed and baptized within a suitable amount of time. In other words, get it done. You better slam dunk their head behind that pew in that water, ASAP rocket. Because if you don't, we're gonna find you. You got a price to pay. Man, these people cold blood, family. I can't make this stuff up. Look up Code Noir. Look up the Black Codes. Everybody that love that name. So it says, Article 3, we forbid any religion other than the Roman Catholic Apostolic faith from being practiced in the public. So all that Islam that our people had in them, that Moorish Israelite concept they had in them, none of that you ain't finna be performing in the public. We desire that offenders be punished as rebels, disobedient of our orders. We forbid any gathering to that end, which we declare to be conventicle, illegal, and seditious, and subject to the same punishment as would be applicable to the masters who permitted or accepted from their slaves. So not only is the slave gonna get punished, but the slave master get punished for letting you do it. And now you see why the slave masters went so hard. You see? Because they had a master they answer to too, right? But also, if you look at this family, when they talk about gathering, and they considered this illegal and seditious, all this was passed up into the orders in the law that we have right now. This designer law right here. You can't go and gather nowhere. Europeans can go sit outside a grocery store at the wee hours in the morning. You go sit outside the grocery store in the wee hours in the morning, they're going to lock your yes up. You see what I'm saying? You can't even gather at a cookout without them coming over there. All this go back to the Black Codes, family. Yeah. And it's right now still being demonstrated under the present law, but they call it curfew. All right. Article 4. No persons assigned to positions of authority over Negroes shall be other than a member of the Roman, Catholic, or Apostolic faith. And the master who assigned these persons shall risk having the said Negroes confiscated and arbitrary punishment levied against the persons who accepted said position of authority. There you go again. There you go again. So anybody that would be in a position of authority had to be part of their order. You see what I'm saying? I told you, brother, Roman Catholic order is just like, another secret society. That's what it is. Article 5, we forbid our subjects who belong to the so-called Reformed religion, and they talking about what we believed, basically after what they consider to be, Christianity or whatever, they Catholicism, they call our way of life Reformed religion. We forbid our subjects, the slaves, who belong to the so-called Reformed religion from causing any trouble or unforeseen difficulties for our other subjects, or even for their own slaves in the free exercise of Roman Catholic Apostolic faith at the risk of exemplary punishment. In other words, they think that if you don't get that way of life up out of them, then they're going to influence somebody else with the teaching. You see what I'm saying? Can't nothing be taught other than what it is they being taught. It even said, Article 6, we enjoin all our subjects of whatever religion, social status they may be, to observe Sundays and holidays that observed by our subjects of the Roman Catholic and Apostolic faith. So there you go. That's why you have off on Sundays. That's where that come from. That's what Sunday become the Sabbath to the European. That come from the slave master. We forbid them to work, nor make their slaves work on said days from midnight until the following midnight. And they shall neither cultivate the earth, manufacture sugar, nor perform any other work at the risk of a fine, an arbitrary punishment against the masters, and of confiscation by our officers of as much sugar worked by the said slaves before being caught. Article 7. We forbid them also to hold slave markets or any other market on the said days of risk of similar punishments and of confiscation of merchandise that shall be discovered at the market, an arbitrary fine against the sellers. Article 8. We declare our subjects who are not of the Roman Catholic or the Catholic and Apostolic faith are incapable of contracting a valid marriage in the future. Now you see where marriage licenses come from, huh? We declare any child born from such unions to be bastards. Now think about the law today. Let that marinate a bit. And we desire that said marriages be held and reputed to hold repute as actual concubinage. So they don't recognize your marriage as a marriage, but they recognize it as concubinage. You got a concubine. They don't see the holy union in it. Here's another, Article 9. Free men who shall have one or more children doing concubinage with their slaves, together with their masters who accepted it, shall each be fined 2,000 pounds of sugar. If they are masters of the slave who produce said children, we desire in addition the fine that the slave and the children be removed, and that she and they be sent to work at the hospital and never to gain their freedom. We do not expect, however, for the present article to be applied when the man was not married to another person during his concubinage with this slave, who he should then marry according to the accepted rites of the church. In this way, she shall be freed, and the children becoming free and legitimate. You know, they go into, we forbid priests from conducting weddings between slaves, you know, if they didn't have their master permission. And man, family, I can go on and on and on. You already see what it is. I ain't going to go all the way through these things here, but, you know, it's a whole bunch of it. I will show you this, though, when it was talking about fugitive slaves right here. In 38, it says, the fugitive slave who has been on the run for a month from the day his master reported him to the police shall have his ears cut off and shall be branded with the fleur de lis on one shoulder. For those who don't know what that is, that's a symbol of the New Orleans Saints, what they wear on their helmet. You know, that was a symbol of slave brand. If he commits the same infraction for another month, again counting from that day, or the day he is reported, he shall have his hamstring cut and branded with the fleur de lis on the other shoulder. The third time he shall be put to death. You know what I mean? So this is they treated our people like real live cattle, family. The Goyim, they treated us like real cattle. They still treat our people like cattle right now. You see what I'm saying? We making it plain. So these are the real origins of Christianity, family. It's hard. I know it's hard for some of our people to accept. I know it hurt, you know, when it comes to this truth, but we got to get a truth up as it is, family. We got to make it plain to our people. And also this go for our family in the Moorish paradigm. So we got a lot of our people in the Moorish paradigm like to talk about what they call the ecclesiastical body politic. You know, but Prophet Noble Drew Ali never talked about the Moors being no ecclesiastical body politic. You know, but he did talk about what is called ecclesiastical despotism. And he said, during those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities, save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the genius that creates, Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry. They're saying when the Christian church was trying to suppress information, the Muslims, you know, was basically trying to stimulate, you know, the need for knowing and accumulate knowledge. You know, it was through Islam that this knowledge came. This was a quote dealing with it. It says, the doctrine of the blind obedience and unqualified submission to any human power, whether civil or ecclesiastical, is the doctrine of despotism. You know, and when you look that up, you're going to see that has to do everything with oppression. So I have to get at some of our Moorish kin because they keep hollering that they are ecclesiastical body politic. For one thing, ain't no ecclesiastical body politic mentioned by the prophet. You know, now there's a body politic mentioned, but that is connected to the founding purpose of why the prophet did what he did before he passed form. He was able to establish the Moorish Science Temple as a religious corporation. So we understand what was being demonstrated there. But that ecclesiastical law, or what they call the body politic, has to do with what relates to the church, because that's what the European consider every religious organization. You call it Hebrew, you call it Nation of Islam, but they're going to put you up under that same act. You know, when you get up under Hers revised statute, you're going to be considered a church. Regardless of what you call yourself, they're going to call you a church. See, look up the word. Here's the word ecclesiastical. See what it says? Of or relating to a church, especially as an established institution suitable for use in a church. This is what ecclesiastical deal with, family. We got a book called Ecclesiastics in the Bible. So when the prophet said return the church and Christianity back to the European, you know, he was letting you know what he had in mind. That's why he brought our own way of life to us. We call it Islamism, but we draw from every school of thought. The lofty teachings of every school of thought. You see, we deal with the teaching of the ancient Nazarites. We deal with the teachings of the Nazarenes, the Essenes. You feel me? We deal with the Qumran text. You see? We deal with the teachings of ancient Kemet. We deal with the teachings, you know, all of those original texts that were agnostic to the European. But most of these things go back to the language of our ancestors that was produced. And then they pull the wool over our eyes and make you think it was something else. You know, basically to shield a dirty religion and keep lying to you if you believe it. You see? So Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't come teaching Christianity. I'm going to tell you what he came teaching. He said that these things had to be taught under what? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's what he said. Look, right here. This is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. He said, all of the nations of the earth in these modern times are seeking peace, but there's but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days. And it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Facts. Facts. So now, guess what? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, for some reason, Buddhism deal with those principles. This is a doctrine on Buddhism right here in peace. You see? And they mention the principles here, partially. They mention them here. Let me go here. Here it is. What is Buddhism? Or what Buddhism has to say on the theme of peace and the concepts of truth, freedom, justice, and love is, I believe, particularly appropriate to our times. See, it's New Era and Time. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was talking about. It say, this view, I also believe, will be shared by most of you in respect of your own religions. Right? This raises a number of problems. Are we all saying the same thing? Or are we saying a number of things which complement and supplement one another? Each of us contributing to some aspect of truth regarding these concepts, values, ideas. Or can it be that only one of us or none of us is right and the rest are wrong? Or is it the case that our talk about these things is devoid of meaning and has only an emotive significance for us and some of our hearers? We cannot hope to solve all these problems, but I believe that discussions of this sort can go a long way to help us see one another's point of view and clarify our own views about them. But you see them talking about them principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice up here. You know what I mean? Now that's dealing with Buddhism. Now here's a measure from Hinduism. They got the same principles up here, family. They call them the 5 human values. You see? The 5 human values, family, is what they call these. Here. And the only thing they did is change the principles, right action, and non-violence. But the truth, the peace, and the love is right there. You know, they got a whole breakdown on this. You know, on what the love, truth, peace, freedom, and truth. The highest truth is absolute, changeless, in the past, present, and future. That's what we say. We say the truth is the only thing that changes not. That's chapter 1 in the Moorish Holy Quran. True at all times and at all places. Truth is not relative, changing according to our perceptions and circumstances. Truth manifests as being truthful, honest, and sincere, acting with integrity, according to the dictates of our conscience. You know what I mean? That no truth contradicts another. That's right in line with what we teach. Right action. True right action is speaking and acting on the truth that emerges from the heart, the source of human conscience and human values. When we engage in right action, we treat others the way we wish to be treated, with respect, kindness, compassion, with understanding, appreciation, the unity of all life. We talk about the unity of life in the Moorish Holy Quran. From the teachings of Satya Sai Baba. Here, peace, absolute peace manifests inner mental calm, the ability to maintain equanimity. Is say in all situations, when we feel peaceful within ourselves, we will naturally feel peaceful toward others. That's Islamism. We say our Islamism is where one is safe from our tongues, our words, and our deeds. Non-violence, avoiding causing harm to anyone or anything in our thoughts, words, and deeds. Non-violence allows us to appreciate diversity and cultivate tolerance and recognize the unity of all beings and respect for all life. You feel me? Love, the highest love is selfless love. See, it's a difference in selfish love and selfless love. It is love that is unconditional, without attachment, not expecting anything in return. All actions emanate from the heart. Love is the force behind other human values and our actions. So when you look at all these drawing, family, on the human values, you know, these are all people that's drawing off of the concept, you know, of basically love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Look at that. You know what I mean? This is their particular vibe of it. We just showed you the Buddhists, you know. We just showed you the Buddhists. Now this is more the Hinduist aspect. And even in ancient Kemet, that comes before all of it. Before it was known as love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, it was known as harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. And that's where we get love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice from when it comes to our star. You see, these are the principles that go back to Kemet. You see, it's not that we are making Kemet identify with anything. We are showing you that Kemet gave birth to all these concepts and everybody else grabbed from them. You understand? We're saying Kemet is the parent. These other systems are the children. See, a lot of people get upset when you show them that, oh, you trying to, ain't nobody mixing Kemet with nothing. We're showing you where they come from. That's what we're doing. You see? So, okay. Like I said, we got that link in there, family, if you want to get in. But yeah, so dealing with those principles, family, like I said, you can see it all over the place. They got their little symbols up here, you know, but these principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, bro, they were taught universally, bro. Big facts. Big facts. Even the Catholic Church, yeah, them too, family, they also have taken from the principles. Look down here. Where do you think they got it from? This is after the prophet. It's like in the 60s when they wrote this. Accordingly, in conclusion, it is to be hoped that the exaltation of the idea of peace may not favor the cowardice of those who fear it may be their duty to give their life for the service of their own country and of their own brothers. When these are engaged in the defense of justice and liberty, who seek only a flight from their responsibility, from the risks that are necessary involved in accomplishment of great duties and generous exploits. Peace is not pacifism. It does not mask a base and slothful concept of life, but it proclaims the highest and most universal values of what? Truth, justice, freedom, and love. And he's talking about peace now. And so that's your love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Right there. Right there, family. You know what I mean? This the Catholic Church. All of a sudden want to talk about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I wonder where they got that idea from January the 1st, 1968. See, family, they're going to stop playing. We show you everything that we say. We can back it up. We got receipts for everything that we talk about. We ain't up here just talking. See, ones can act like they don't want to hear what's being said all they want to. But the general opinion of men will never alter the nature of the truth, family. You feel me? Now, what we're not going to do is act like we're trying to promote Christianity by giving you this history right here. What we're not going to do is act like we're trying to promote, anything when it comes to dealing with being religious, over religiously zealous, in this measure, because that's not what we demonstrate. We simply giving you the history, on where Christianity coming from, and we touching on what we teach. As more, we teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's simple. That's simple. So that's a whole nother drawing, family. So yeah, like I said, it don't get no plainer than this right here. And I ain't really got to go, a whole lot further. I will touch on more of these drawings though here. This portion here that gives the history of Yehoshua and verifies his history, was a Moabite and of Canaanite descent. A lot of people don't know it's 3 different groups of Canaanites. The indigenous inhabitants that were there, then those who came after them, and then the ones who descended from them. That's a whole nother history to run down one day. Acts 6, the Moorish Americans are also the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa. And the Moabites are the Moabites, same people, family. Okay, you think I'm making this name right here up? See, some of our people think that we be coming up with this stuff here. These are the Moabite people, family. The original Moabites. That's what the Moabites look like right there. They're from Algeria. These are Moabites here. See him? See that there? That's a Moabite, family. These are Moabites here too. See, it says it down there at the bottom. Them are our people. Them ain't no Arabs. You feel me? We was there before the Arabs. So now, who was it that enslaved our people? Because you hear people always talking about the Moors enslaved our people and put them into slavery. Come on, bro. Let's stop playing. We know Africans were enslaving Africans all over the world. So why you want to handpick the Moors and make the Moors look like they was the only ones involved in this demonstration? If this be the case, right? But we're going to let you know who was the real enslaver. It wasn't the Moors enslaving nobody. It was the Moroccans. Don't confuse Moor with Moroccan. And the true Moors are in slavery right now. Right here. These are the true descendants of the Moors, family. If you want to know where they are, they're in Mauritania, bro. You see that there? Let me blow this up. You see what they say, family? Slavery in Mauritania. Our people still being enslaved over there. And who you think doing it? Them pale-skinned Arabs doing it. It ain't our people that enslaved our people. Stop telling that lie. It's the Arabs that was enslaving our people. The true Moors are of Mauritania, family. The true Moors are of Mauritania. I don't mean to get animated over here, but it just upset me to see how people be so misled by lies. And they just eat it up on a platter, so to speak. You feel me? You know, they can tell you one thing. That's why like the 5% say our people easy to be led in the wrong direction, hard to be led in the right. You give them the truth and they go in the falsehood willfully. Yeah, this is all our people. These are the real Moors right here, family, right now to this day. Them our people right there, not them Arabs that's enslaving our people. Yes, they are still being enslaved right now. So switch that narrative up, that lie that the Moors have enslaved anybody. How they gonna enslave somebody when they being enslaved? Make it make sense. The Moors are being enslaved, family. These are Moorish people right here. So don't confuse Mauritania with Morocco. They are not the same, family. The Moroccans are those who participate. And I'm pretty sure it's probably some Mauritanian sellouts over there too. But we always got some of them too. We ain't gonna deny that. You know what I mean? So next time somebody come to you with that foolery, you know, you can correct that note. You know what I mean? We're gonna give it to you like it is. You know, Mauritania, you know, gave root. The root from whence Mauritania come is the word Mari. You know, the Mari, you know, represent the Moorish gods. That's what we was called before we were invaded. You know, Berber was nothing more than a misnomer that was placed on us by the Arabs and the Romans. And they were calling us barbarian because the Arabs refused to call us Moorish gods. You know what I mean? We were called this. This was the name the Moors were called by. You done seen my videos, you already know what I'm talking about. We were called the Demari. You see? When you go up into this history of the Demari, look at the pictures of the Demari. They call them the Kimto. We know that word, and these are the people in Tunisia. That's straight Kemetic right there, family. They put Roman ruins up there. That's Kemetic. You ain't never seen no Roman with no nappy hair. Stop it. You know what I mean? So we can go further into it, but the Moorish gods, family, definitely come out of Africa, and they also paid homage to Amun-Ra. You know, Amun-Ra, his name was Mari. But that's a whole nother history, family. That's a whole nother history. The Moorish gods. Big facts. You know, so be careful who you let tell your history, family. Because if you let them tell it long enough, you know, they're going to hijack it and superimpose themselves into your history. And when they do that, you just get wiped off the planet, basically. You know, and don't nobody know what's going on. And don't let me get in there and show you what them real Romans, the real Roman looked like before they got there. Don't make me do that. Because I get to showing you that right there. Them so-called Europeans you have here now. Don't let me show you who them Kifty-Who people are. You know what? I'm going to do it right now. Because just in case we got somebody that want to die, we ain't even playing. We ain't even playing, family. Just in case we got somebody that want to be a naysayer and try to argue anything that I'm saying right now, I'm at your head before you even get a chance to get it out. I'm finna show you who these people is that we talking about. The real people. Watch this. I got receipt. I told you I got receipts for everything I say now. We don't even play it. I'm finna actually close this demonstration out in a minute because like I said, I ain't gonna try to. I done already went over my time frame. Where we at? There we go, right there. That's what I'm looking for. Stolen legacy. Check me out. I do my research, family. I don't do this to play. And I done showed our family this before. This is the Kifty-Who. See, if you know anything about language, you know about sound shifting. The F is interchangeable with the letter P. If you put Kifty-Who, you can go back to the word that connects to the word Coptic, or Kiptu, Coptu. But anyway, look at the hair. the lock that come down the back. You see they had a head with the uraeus, the serpent. This is from Kemet. You know, this is from Nubia. There you go right there. These some of the original people, our people, that were there before the Romans came. See how the Romans, they later look at the founder. Y'all know who that is. Y'all know who that is. Hannibal. Yeah. These the people that was there before they were there. All melanated, family. We ain't making this stuff up. You see that same beard? Look at that. They were known as Etruscans as well. 600 BC, family. Long before a European got up there. This how they looked before the European got there, family. We ain't playing. 500 BC. Negroes in Rome, huh? You think it's a game, huh? These are the original inhabitants there, and they come straight up out of Kush and Nubia, bro. Facts. These are the same people that went across North Africa as well. All these pictures right here, pictures that come up out of Rome and so-called Greece. Huh? I'm just flipping through them because I don't want to stay too long. Look at this. This is known as Punic. A lot of people will call this cuneiform, but this is actually Punic. That is similar to cuneiform. Why is this Punic so similar to the cuneiform of the Assyrians? We'll get into that at another time. Another picture. There they go, the Mari. Huh? I do this, family. I don't make this stuff up. Everything I say, one can go to do the research on it and find it just like I said it. So, yeah. And this one you definitely can't lie about. Remember that beard I showed y'all earlier? Look at that brother. He got the beard and he got the locks. You see it. Everybody up there. Everybody up there melanated. And they writing in the Coptic script. Before they call it, he got a little staff up there with the serpents intertwined around. Powerful. Yes, sir. Y'all done seen this, the ones who done been in my videos, so y'all already know what time it is. You know what I mean? And I can just go, I can spaz out with this demonstration. You know, I can spaz all the way out with it. You see? That's why I said ain't no such thing as Greek. Even though we use that terminology, it's supposed to be Greek text. This is Hecopta. Most everything you have was translated out of Old Nubian, bro, and Greek, as they like to call it, right? But Old Nubian is what they want to call Greek. Coptic is what they like to call Greek. You see what I'm saying? We just re-educating our people. We de-educating and re-educating. What I mean when I say Old Nubian? People think I'm playing when I say what I say. Look at this Old Nubian script. Do you see it? That's Old Nubian right there, family. Huh? That's Old Nubian. Where did that come from? The Sudan. And there's plenty of Old Nubian translations out there, by the way. Look at that. That's Nubian right there, fam. You didn't know no better. You would think it was what they call Greek. No, that come from our people. They got a whole Christian text, bro, that was translated from this language, unbeknownst to many of our people, and they've been calling it Greek to hide it from our people. See what I'm saying? That's why we got to stop letting people tell us all this stuff and not going to do the research, family. Look, that's one of the buses that I have right there. The Roman look just like the Nubians. The Greek picture look just like the Nubians. Remember I showed you the picture of them with the little hair, and then they got the little serpent on the front of their head? Nubia. So we see the first inhabitants of Greece came from Cush, Nubia. Facts. Big facts. Oh yeah, you gonna get it today. We gonna give you the truth. You know what I mean? So can't nobody refute that. Only a fool. Salam to our family. Peace and love to all our family too, man. Out here, that represent in the room. Honest to our brother Black man. We give honor to your brother. We ain't shooting at your name. It's all love, brother. We draw with you. It's all love. We just giving the history. You know what I mean? Peace and love to our family, avenging the ancestors. That's what we doing right now. We avenging the ancestors right now. Peace and love, Ray Sean Irvin family. We give honors to you. Honors to you as well. Honors to our brother Charles Warrell. Honors to you as well, brother. Honors to our good brother Jay. It's been a minute. I've been doing a little working, family, but we on the manifest. Yes, sir. Yeah, so we just ran down we dropped a couple of keys up here, you know what I mean? And whatever you're able to take from it, you take from it, family. I like that drawing, brother say 300 is another lie. Oh yeah, they like to glorify all their little demonstration, to make it look like that they were the original people, you feel me? Yes, sir. It's all us, family. You know what I mean? So don't let nobody lie to our people. That's the problem. Every time they go across the world and they get to traveling and carrying on, when they look on the wall, they see us, family. They see us when they look on them walls. And that's where the conflict come in at. Because they've been told that we were Negroes and, we were destined to be slaves. And then when they get over there, they see us. Look at him. All these Greek deities and all of them melanated. Yeah, that's Zeus right there, y'all. See Zeus? Going against Typhoon. That's Attics. These are the Attics, the Asiatics. That's what these are, the Attics. You get these pictures from that particular collection. See the trident in their hand? See them fighting Medusa? That's Poseidon. Y'all done seen Marvel come and talk about Poseidon. This the Atlantean history right here, family. Look at that. Same, see them locks? That's them locks we showed you. See that beard right there? Yes, sir. That ain't no European. Some people, them European that's drawn in black ink. I'm going to prove it ain't in a minute. That's Poseidon right there. That's Athena right next to him, right? Y'all heard about Wonder Woman. They put Athena up there. Y'all hear brothers talking about carrying the world on his shoulders? That's what Atlas doing right there. Atlas is mentioned as the Atlas Mountain. That's in the area of Mauritania. That's where it said the Atlantean deities and the gods roamed at. See that? There you go. You got them locks again. See, this is the part they didn't tell y'all about that so-called Greek. Look at that. They even got one over here with the Kemetic crown on, family. The white crown and other crown. This is Hermes, who is just another form of Tehuti, which they say another reincarnation. That look like Anpu right there, that little Jaffa dog. You see what I'm saying? Because we know everything was copycatted. That's Hermes too. You see he has his staff right there. You know what I mean? That's Hermes right there. You see sitting behind Apollo. Now look who's serving it. See, this remove our doubt and let you know that, oh yeah, these are our people. Because you see the complexion, right? You see that complexion, right? Okay. Look, they go nothing right there. The birth of Athena. This is 545, 535 BC. If you notice, a lot of this stuff is consistent across the board, just like I showed you over there. Look here. The birth of Athena being demonstrated. Look at her up there, the little goddess. Yeah. Little warrior goddess. Yeah, they go to brother. He got his locks in his head. Look at the European coming for bringing the offerings. Go get me something to eat, I say. Yeah, they serving our people, family. Man, these people better stop playing. They better stop playing, man, and come on home and look at Zeus. Huh? Look at that. You tell me what's being depicted there if that ain't being depicted as our people. You tell me, family. And it's over and over again. Adonis, Estia, Palymphomes. Yeah. See, they ain't tell you about all this stuff right here. Yeah. The Ephesian Artemis, the goddess Artemis. Look at that. They go a brother with them locks again with that headdress on. Yes, sir. Yeah, that was their demonstration back then, I see. So yeah, family, we gotta stop playing. We gotta stop playing. We got to stop playing. It don't get no playing in this. I mean, what else? Look at them. You see our people over here. Look at them Europeans. You even got a brother over there. He done got old. He got white locks, which would be more probably expression of gray hair. Every time you see the European on here, they serving our people. Our people were the gods everywhere you look in history, bro. We done showed you in the Grecian so-called history and the Roman history, bro. We the gods. I mean, what else it is we need to show you, bro? Huh? What else is it that we need to show you? So make them put some respect on our people, family, when they come out here from now on. You know what I mean? That's just a whole nother drawing, but I just want to give honors to your family for just coming on the manifest, you know, and it's all love, and we just like to bring the truth to our people and give you inspiration and encouragement, you know, to stand on what it is that we are, family. You know what I mean? We ain't got to keep going over this over and over and over again, but we have to use the hammer of repetition sometime because our people don't get it, some of it, you know, because that falsehood has been beat, you know, so deep into their consciousness, family. They done beat the truth out of it. So you got to uproot all that falsehood. You got to de-educate the Negro to re-educate the Negro. You see what I'm saying? We got to, you know, we got to do what we can, man, in order to teach our people, because as long as they got the image of being subject to somebody else in their consciousness, they will never elevate, family. We as a people will never elevate. We'll never come together. You know, so that's all we bringing on the manifest now, family. So let me do this again. I'm gonna drop this in here again just in case it got lost. They go to link. If any one of our family want to come up in here and demonstrate their portion of an understanding and, you know, just to grace the platform and say peace and blessings, bro, you can come in here. That's the link right there. You know, if not, all is well, all is well. We draw, you know, maybe next time. Now we're going to see if our family want to come up here, anybody that's there. I'm trying to start doing little measures early up in the day, you know, to see can we reach a couple of more people, because y'all know normally I be up late in the wee hours. Okay. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, family, all is well, all is well. No love lost. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send y'all our conference call number, because I'm getting ready to go on to our conference call. And y'all can check in, family, and listen in and chime in and give your measure if you choose to. I'm going to drop that number in here for you. Let me see. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's the number. That's our call-in number right there, family. We demonstrate on everything, you know, from a universal perspective. You know, we got herb, health, and healing classes and everything. So I'm about to shut down this demonstration. And if y'all want to come on our conference call, be more than welcome. And just star 6 your phone when you come in. That'll mute you out. And it's all love, family. I just want to say gratitude for your listening ear. And it's much more to come. We're going to keep bringing this truth to our people. Peace, love, and law at all costs. Islamism without the schism, Uncle Jet Seneb, life, health, and prosperity be upon all of you. In universal love. Peace.